See how long this is. It shortens some philosophicals. Okay. Oh, fun. So you know what? Let's go read that, and we'll do a short little litany against fear. So let me update the stream. You know, I kind of like the pop philosophy. It's like not even that terrible. What is this advertisement? Yeesh. Okay. Litany Against Fear was a litany spoken by many highly educated people who face danger or fear during their everyday lives. The litany helped focus their minds in times of peril. Origin. The phrase derives from William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. A coward dies 1,000 times before his death, but the valiant taste of death but once. It seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. An ancient form of the litany existed already during the Butlerian Jihad. A mantra of the city of introspection went like this: I have no fear, for fear is the little death that kills me over and over. Without fear, I die but once. The version of the litany used in the time of Paul Maud Deeb was believed to have originated with the Bene Gesserit, who themselves faced great dangers during their extensive training. Okay, so this is, I guess, the content of the litany as according to Dune. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Okay. So immediately we've got problems. Like this is just problems. I must not fear. This is a necessity. What kind of necessity is the must of? You know what? Let me get it a little bit bigger on screen here. See if that can do stuff. All right, a little too big. There we go. Okay, so I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. Okay, so basically, it's a necessity because you're going to fuck your mind up, is basically what fear does. Then why do we fear? Like, what does fear tell us? Fear is, you can think of it like in an evolutionary sense. Why do we fear? If you must not fear, you're going to be an idiot and get yourself killed very, very, very quickly. There isn't a reason that we get afraid of things, and it's usually to keep us alive. All right? Like, seriously. So, in some sense, there's a different kind of fear. You can't be like constantly in fear is the problem. Like you must not be in constant fear because that would mess your mind up. And that could bring total obliteration because that will take over your mind. Okay, so that's fine. From the first spot, must not fear, you must not be in constant fear because that's no way to live. I will face my fear. Fine. Whatever your fear actually happens to be. So if you're in constant fear, you have to get out of that. So you will face, if you have a constant fear, you must face that. That's like a necessity here also, because that's going to come down from the must here. So you've got like a moral imperative if you are in constant fear that you have to live up to it. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. Yeah, because if it's constant, it's sort of pervasive. And that's kind of what you're getting through here. So if you've got pervasive fear, you got to do something to it. And you have to kind of accept it. Let it go over you or through you, all of it. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. So here's the thing. When you have a full fear, if you are like consumed with fear, you have to sort of, when you get past it, you have to reflect on it because you don't want this to come back, and you have to understand that it has walked, like there is a way that you have gotten away from it. How did you get away from your fear? Because it is going to be something personal. Because it was your constant fear, so it is going to be particular to you. If you have a constant fear and then you get away from it, you should understand it. Okay, where the fear has gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain. Yeah, so in some sense, once it's gone, you don't need it. It's like a lot of times, people rely on things like, whatever, it's a crutch. Like if you're afraid of, say, going to hell. Let's say you're a very religious person, you're afraid of going to hell. And then all of a sudden you get away from your religious faith, but you do that not because you're anti-religion, but it's because the fear was consuming your life. And once you get past that, the fear, you do not need it anymore. It is not an essential part of you. So you're saying that like fear is not essential to us, or at least the constant fear is not essential to us. And then you will still be whole once the fear is gone. Okay. That's like first pass on this. Let's see. Is there anything else I could say right now? I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear is gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Alright, so again, what's interesting, and this is also like the Jedi code. Or the Jedi and Sith code. It's a mind-based theory. A lot of these things want to discuss the mind and make that front and center for good reason. I mean, if you lose your mind, you've lost the world. Like just as equal. Like if you no mind, you've got no world. If you've got no consciousness, it's gone. So that's the obliteration here, is that you've lost the obliteration that the mind provides you when you are afraid, because the fear can take over your mind. So, will this actually help you? Is this like mantra useful to you? This describes fear up here in the top, and then down here it tells you what you need to do about it and how it will how this will go. I mean, of course, getting over your fears is hard. You're gonna have missteps, you're gonna screw things up, and it's gonna suck. So that's one of the things that like you're getting glossed over here. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. That's glossing over how painful that's gonna be. I mean, so this is like making light of the struggle. So that's okay. Like this might help you to realize that it's like all things will pass. This too will pass. That you will get past it and you will be okay. So will that help you? You start off with, I must not be in like constant fear. Where is the fear? It's in your mind, and it will fuck your mind up. But what can you do about it? You will face it. You will get through the trouble, and then when it's gone, it will just be gone for good, and you will remain. That's nice sound. Like I said, it's gonna make light of the struggle. The struggle is always tough. It's like anyone who struggled with anything. This is Shane says, for context, the people that use this most frequently are sort of coven of women who have mastered their bodies to the point of being able to control chemical processes within them. So this is sort of, okay, so this is like a monkish almost, or like, I guess they're nuns if they're women, but like a monk or sort of thing that allows them to conquer that once they have conquered their physical body, that they have like downward control. This is called downward causality, that the mind can control things that are smaller than like the whole mind. Like you can start to control other things, the chemical processes. That's interesting. So that means that there's a causation issue here. This is the inner eye to see its path, that once you have gotten to this level, you've attained this level of discipline, that you will actually be able to see it going. Like literally, you will be able to see the chemicals like working through, pushing out the fear. So that's an interesting thing. Okay. So let's see what the examples of usage are right here. Uses the litany when we blah blah blah, compels to put right device, pain, presence of mind. You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap. There's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that might he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. Okay, so this is basically, yeah, saying, look, it's in your head, and then you have control over it. So that's it. So Shane says, yeah, they can do stuff like determine genetics of their kid. They can neutralize poison if it is ingested. Yeah, so this is the downward causation, which is an interesting thing in philosophy and in sci-fi too. Yeah. Okay, oh, so there's a slightly different one. Yeah, this is a little bit shorter, it looks like. It cuts out the obliteration line. Okay, yeah, so that's one of the things. Yeah, so there's the question of discipline in sci-fi and in life. Like, what can you actually do? Like that other people can't do. So in the sci-fi, the ladies apparently can control chemical reactions within their body, and that's like a pseudo-religious level. Of course, in like future tech things, say like Ghost in the Shell, you can also have like, blood level robots that can like clean your blood or whatever. There's nothing unusual in that sort of sci-fi sense. So in that case, you're not gaining it through your own discipline, but through the discipline of technology. The question is, does this actually help you? I mean, last episode on Philosophy Roulette, we were talking about hunger and how hunger will focus your attention on food. And here's the thing, fear also focuses your attention on the thing you're afraid of, and it keeps you focused on that. Now, does the idea of like repeating this thing like as a mantra, will that distract your attention away from it? Maybe. And this is sort of like the old what does chanting do? It gets your emotions up, it gets you to focus on different things. And so there is something to this. But is the question, is it this statement, like to repeat your davening to do your prayers, or is it the act of praying that is actually doing the thing? Now, if you repeat one thing over and over, it will get stuck in your head. And so saying you're not going to be afraid, maybe that works, but it will also be associated with the act of repeating it over and over, which is directing your mind away from the fear. So in that sense, disciplined practice can make a difference in how you perceive the world if you are governed by fear. So this is a fair thing. I don't know if this is a particularly special one. And like the Origin said, this has been repeated throughout history. So it's a litany spoken by many highly educated people who face danger or fear during their everyday lives. See, this was the everyday thing that I was talking about before. It has to be a constant thing. The litany helps focus their minds in times of peril. So that's the thing. If you have a concerted practice to be able to focus on your mantra, then you will not be focused on the fear. Shane says, would the benefit there be from a placebo effect of just repeating it, or from the value of the words themselves? I wouldn't even call it a placebo effect. I would call it the discipline to direct your attention away from what is causing you to be afraid. So it's a method for redirecting your attention. I wouldn't call it placebo effect. The value of the words themselves, words have power. You don't want to say that they don't. Words have meaning to you. Different words will mean different things to you. Some will have more significance to you. And so there's a combination effect here. I mean, as per usual, the man to go talk to is Aristotle, because that was Aristotle's point, is that you do things, you form a habit. And this is why you have virtues. You form a habit and you build up the virtue, and that is kind of what it does. So that's kind of what, like having discipline to be able to focus your mind in certain ways is a thing. So a litany is a poetic technique, Trop. Oh, that's right. I don't even know what the heck litany is being used, like the word here means. So like the word here, litany, is a prayer consisting of a series of invocations. That's right. It's a poetic technique, a series of invocations. Um, so this is how it's used. So, yeah. What is the benefit of prayer? Like, that's a very hard thing to say, but people swear by praying. They do. And so the question is like, where is the benefit of prayer, and will this actually help you? It's like, you have to go find out that one for yourself, because it might be different for all of us what sort of things you need to hear over and over. And this could work depending on you. I don't know. But the value of the words themselves will matter, because certain words will matter to you. Like, certain things will piss you off. Certain things will make you happy. It's the old classic, I love you. Said by the right people will make you very happy. Said by the wrong people will make you very unhappy. So, like, those words mean something. And sometimes it's very hard to say those 3 words. I love you is very hard to say a lot of times. So it means something. So repeating it over and over will also do something to you. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else interesting right here? I don't know. The litany helped him to withstand the excruciating agony. Yeah, see, it's a torture resistance device. It's basically what it goes down to. Yeah, no problem. I mean, this is fun. Like, these, like, things in pop culture tend to reflect. I mean, the reason that things like Dune and Star Wars have the notoriety they do is because they've drawn on very interesting things in, like, history and philosophy and all sorts of stuff, religion. It's like, what was it? George R.R. Martin was famous for pulling from history. So, yes. I do that sometimes. Like, I'm reading something and I didn't read the name. I'm like, oh, wait, I should say hi to the peoples. It does happen. Okay. All right. But, like, I think that's it for today. I've been going for 2 hours. Yeah, well, there is some overlap between me and Aristotle's chat at this point. Mainly due to Aristotle shouting me out so many times, and Shane shouting me out a bunch in the chat. I thank you, Shane. So, like, that's happened nowadays. I used to, like, back in the day when I was streaming, there was actually no overlap because just there wasn't enough philosophy streamers, and so there's very little overlap between the few people that were doing it. But as over time, they've started to merge. People that used to be only in my chat are now in Aristotle's, and vice versa. So, okay. So that is all. Let's go check. If anyone has anyone they want to suggest a raid person to, I'm gonna go look to see if there's anyone that would be suitable. So, Anne is up. We can go see 9 Hour Nap, play Minesweeper. Turtles and chill if you guys want to just go chill with Turtles and like lo-fi music. Kimmery Sky is a musician. Toad's up. I mean, and T-Pain's up. I don't know. No, yeah, philosophy will do that to you, Shane. It's weird stuff. It's really weird stuff. Like, I can't even tell people how weird some of the stuff is. Like I'm weirder than Aristotle, and I think you guys probably think he gets himself into weird stuff. I get into really, like, arcane things. I'm just like, I like it. It's fun. Oh wow, Office Drummer's on the front page of Twitch. Office Drummer was in Kimmery Sky's chat the other day. No, don't be. Sorry. Okay. Let's go hang out with Anne.